I am assuming that by clicking on this video, you want to get better aim in critical ops. Well, you're in luck. I just so happen to know some things that might help you. I may not be the best player in critical ops, but I am better than about 90% of the entire player base. Okay, maybe it's not exactly 90%, but I am better than the majority of players, so I do have an idea of what I'm talking about. These tips are not in any particular order, but if you apply these tips to your gameplay, you will begin to see the results rolling right in. Also, a little bit off topic here, if you are on my Discord server, you can send me your favorite clips in the Stream Clips channel, and maybe, just maybe, I will make a video reacting to them in the future. Just keep it critical ops related, okay? Anyways, without further ado, and without further stalling, here are my top tips for improving your aim in critical ops. Tip number 1. Use claw. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to use more than just your thumbs to play critical ops. Sure, you could use a controller or a mouse and keyboard at this point, but if you want to use touch controls, then you must use 3 or more fingers. The goal is to be able to aim and shoot at the same time. Not shoot and aim. I'm talking about aiming, then shooting. I see you, you fire button joystick players. I don't want any of you in the comments typing, "Duh, I already do that." No, you don't. You're delusional. The reason you want to aim and shoot at the same time is so you can flick the targets without lifting your finger to press the fire button. You could get away with using the fire joystick in the lower ranks, but if you want to get any better, you've got to have a dedicated finger for aiming and for your fire button. Tip number 2. Aim trainers. Alright, let's clear something up real quick. Aim trainers are meant to train your aiming mechanics, specifically your flicking, tracking, and precision. Now with mobile aim trainers, your options are a bit limited due to the hardware of some devices. But there are some good mobile aim trainers out there. The one I currently like to use is AimLab Mobile. It's clean. It has a level progression system where you can unlock different default training playlists and profile decorations, a rank system and leaderboard where you can compare your scores with other players, and it provides multiple tasks for each of the different mechanics you need to train. It also has some extra mechanics to train like speed, perception, and cognition. And best of all, it's free and has no ads, unlike a certain aim trainer that I will discuss its own problems in its own video, but not right now. And let me turn on my microphone here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why it was turned down. Anyways, another thing about aim trainers is that it is an enclosed environment where you can focus on training your aiming mechanics while also experimenting with your button layout if you need to switch from thumbs to claw. And some of you are probably asking about sensitivity, in which case the sensitivity slider will be different for each aim trainer that you use. I would say just do your best at trying to get the aim trainer's sensitivity as close to the sensitivity you use in critical ops, as there are some aim trainers that do not have the option to convert sensitivity settings from different games. Good luck! Tip number 3, crosshair placement. This is the other half of aiming that mobile aim trainers just can't train you on, so this will have to be worked on within critical ops. Now I could just say keep your crosshair at headshot level and be done with it. Although while this is still true, crosshair placement is much more than that. When you hear anybody talking about crosshair placement, they are usually referring to these 3 things: pre-aim, holding angles, and slow peeking. Pre-aim is where you place your crosshair on the wall next to a corner, so when you peek that corner, your crosshair will land on a location that an enemy player could be sitting. Typically, when peeking a corner, you want to peek as fast and as far away from that corner as possible. And the further away you are from the corner, the closer you need to place your crosshair to the actual corner, and vice versa. These types of peeks are usually the ones that get pre-fired a lot. So with a little bit of game sense and map knowledge, you can find these areas and use them to your advantage. Now for holding angles, you will need to have your crosshair at headshot level while also having your crosshair off of the corner you're holding. The reason you want your crosshair off of the corner you're holding is because you are not going to be able to instantly react to some player peeking the corner. If you have your crosshair on the corner and the enemy player fast peeks you, you will most likely take damage or you will get eliminated. Having your crosshair off the corner allows you to react to the player peeking the corner and be able to land the first shots before the peeking player has time to react to you. The average reaction time is around 250 milliseconds. The average for us gamers is around 200 milliseconds, and I clock in at around 170 milliseconds. I'm fast as fuck, boy. So your reaction time will determine the distance you need to place your crosshair away from the corner. Slow peeking is usually reserved for late round clutch up moments where you have no idea where the enemy player is going to be hiding. Like pre-aim, you want to be as far away from the corner as possible without exposing yourself to any other angles. For this type of peeking, you are going to want your crosshair right on the edge of the corner you were clearing while walking around said corner. This type of peek is useful for those off-angle players who think they can get the jump on you. Although I would err on the side of caution on which angle you are slow peeking, because if the player can be further away from the corner than you can, then it would be better to just use utility and fast peek it. Tip number 4. Stop moving. Did you know that you are less accurate when you shoot while you are moving? Sometimes it doesn't feel that way when you have an ops running at you full spray and they get a ton of damage on you, but I digress. The best way to visualize your movement and accuracy is to turn on dynamic crosshair and start running around. You can see that while you are moving, your crosshair spreads out. This indicates you will be inaccurate when shooting the weapon you were holding. When you stop moving, your crosshair comes back to its resting position. This means your shot will be accurate again, so when you see an enemy player, stop moving, aim at your target, and fire away. To really give your opponent a hard time hitting you, strafe to one side, then stop and shoot a short burst, then aim and move to the other side and do the same thing. This is called strafing, and it is a common tactic to use when engaging an enemy player out in the open. Tip number 5, like and subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks. That's not a tip, that's more of a suggestion. But still, you guys really seem to like these types of videos, and I appreciate you watching them. And I'm sure you guys have more questions you want to ask, so let me hear them in the comments down below, and I will do my best to answer them. And while you wait for me to answer your questions, feel free to check out these videos that YouTube is recommending you watch. And both of them better be my videos, otherwise, I'm going to be seeing your mother tonight. Sweet dreams.